So you got an oil leak in your 1KD, eh? Oh, that's rare. Hey guys, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. Just going to make a really quick video. I promise you this one will be quick and straight to the point. So stick around and remember to press like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff so you don't miss out on the next important video, you know, the one that really you didn't want to miss. Anyway, 1KDs, they don't leak oil. We've got a video called, you know, all the oil leaks. You can have a look at that. You can see about that little plug in the O-ring. That's the possible $10 oil leak. Other than that, generally they don't leak. And just before I cleaned up this bench, you can see all the bits of rubbish all over the bench. That's not how we roll. I thought I'd throw these two covers because they're a perfect example of the oil leak that is caused by people. So 1Ks don't leak oil at all until they get really old, 300,000 or 400,000 Ks, and that little O-ring on the plug near the starter motor causes a very slow weep. It's not even, doesn't even drip, so it's not even called a leak. So there's no oil leaks. But if you let the wrong people work on the vehicles and they take these valve covers off, not only do they bend your pipes and contaminate your fuel system, and if we look at these covers just to use as examples, and this wasn't the video, so I apologise in advance. We're getting to the oil leak. That's the cracks on the back of the valve cover, actually, or is it on the front? I might have this one the wrong way around. Hang on. Where's the crack? I can't even see the crack on this one. Anyway, we'll get to that. You can see the crack on this one. I'm sure there was a crack on here. No, it's hard to see, yeah. Oh no, yeah, it is, it's there. So we'll get to that. Okay, so I've got to the point for those in a hurry, but for everybody who wants the rest of the info, stick around. Now, what was I saying when I distracted myself? So not only do they take the pipes off, and you can see the evidence, right? Let's come over to this one. See all the pipes, scratchy round marks there, and all those ones there, and all those scraping marks there. If you were to take the pipes off and lift them more there, lift them away from the vehicle, here's some there, a couple of scratches there, right? Some more there, not as much on this one, right? But if you were to take the pipes away from the vehicle, they don't scratch the valve cover, they don't get all the dirt and grit and crud, sand and dirt that's sitting in these nozzle seals that's fallen out to there, and oh, it's just disgusting. The risk is just phenomenal, how high it is, the risk of contamination. That's why people have problems. That's why be very careful, watch my videos, get to learn how clean you need to be. Awesome engine, awesome systems, and it's all caused by people. Once again, this is the example. So not only do they contaminate your system and do all this other damage we've demonstrated, and there's a whole heap of other things I'm not going to go into because I said I'd keep it short, so I'm going to give it about another maximum minute, I think. What happens is people get oil leaks and they think, oh, you know, I've got to change that valve cover gasket. No, look, you're just going to create more contamination. That's how it got leaking in the first place, because somebody worked on it, and that's why you've got problems. You just need to get your fresh squirters, all the procedures, all the right parts, everything back together right. You might need a new valve cover, unfortunately, $350, whatever it is. You might get a good one from the wrecker. Sometimes we've got a good one here. If we've got someone really fussy and it's got a tiny little crack, I don't know, say on the outside of that bolt there's common, on the outside of this sleeve, doesn't really matter, but someone might say, yeah, no, I want to replace it. That may not actually have much of a leak. We might be able to put a tiny bit of RTV on the inside and stop that leak and save you $300 or something like that anyway. So what happens is, you know, they tighten them down, and they do tighten them down. See these little sleeves? I've been through this before. These little crush sleeves, once that makes contact at top and bottom, you can see these will be sitting off the bench a little. See that? You see the little gap there? Because that's the spacing for the gasket. The Toyota engineers have made it idiot-proof. Except what they do, they just keep tightening them down. But what you need to do, you tighten them up in many passes. So you go, a bit like a head gasket, start from the middle, side to side. The key is, I don't really care what order you do it, as long as you don't do the corners first, and as long as you do it in many passes. You come to the front and back corners last, because they can also crack across the front here. These two I've got here as I use as examples. They don't have cracks on the front, but they can have a crack about there at that corner from tightening up, over tightening this one. And then what happens when they leak, people think, oh, it needs tightening up, and they tighten it up some more, and guess what? The leak gets worse because it opens up the crack. These two covers here are rubbish. We use one of them as our test fit valve cover. You'll know what I mean if you're in the VIP group and you've seen our injector replacement videos. You don't need one of those if you're just doing your own. It's more of a workshop thing. Which one is it? It's that one, because it's got the lubrication. I think it's due for a clean. I'm going to chuck them out in the wash bay. But you can see the reason it got replaced. See, if we better without this light. Let's get rid of that light. Okay. See the crack, the little hairline crack? You can see it. Right. Across here, across the top there. I don't need a pointer. You can see what's going on, right? But you can hardly see it, right? So you think the valve cover gasket's leaking, right? Wrong. These gaskets don't leak, mate. I'm telling you, I get them off 10 years old and they're still soft. I consider reusing them. Mate, many years ago, when I used to deal with people that were really, wanted to save money, really wanted to do the cheapies, I used to even reuse them for them. Never had a leak. Same as these top seals, never had a leak. And quite often, they're not normal replacement. I've said that. See how I just keep going because there's so much information I've got to spew out and share. Anyway, over here, same thing. You can see they've this is not the first or last two. This is not the first two we've seen. It's not going to be the last one, right? See the crack over the top there, right? That's why there's an oil leak, yeah. And you can do a bodgy RT. So if you're short of money or whatever, instead of spending $350, you or we can do an RTV thing inside and out and whatever. But I can't absolutely guarantee it. I'm quite confident that if we get it right, it's not going to leak. But it's not a normal thing we do, so I can't absolutely. I'm a 99% sure, right? Tell you what, right? Double or nothing. I'm not going to charge you anything if it doesn't leak, right? Or if you're not, or you can pay double. You want to guarantee? No, I'm not even going to guarantee it for double. Look, the point I'm trying to make is that's your leak, right? It's the busted valve cover from people over tightening it. Now, to be fair, maybe it's just crappy valve covers, but I don't think so because we don't see this on all of them. It looks pretty obvious to me what's happened, and I just don't believe if you tighten the back first. I don't believe it's just going to happen on its own. I should finish that sentence. It's not, I don't believe if you tighten the back first. I don't believe it's just going to happen. I don't believe that if you tighten this up in many passes and you just nip it nicely, 9 Newton meters is the torque setting, and you do the corners last, that you're going to snap that corner off like that. Anyway, guys, that's a video. Sorry it was longer than a really short one, but I'm not sorry for sharing the information. So I hope you liked it. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on, and sit tight for the next one. Catch ya.